Lilac Kitty has all types of Reddit stories that will make you think, cry and laugh. Only real stories.
How can I talk to him about our sex life? We've been together for a year and moved in 2 months ago. At the start of our relationship, we had sex x3 a week, more than I liked, as I have a lower libido, but I didn't really mind. In the past 2.5 months, his libido has dramatically dropped and we've only had sex a handful of times. At first, I thought it was a problem with me. I was constantly trying to initiate and being rejected, and it hurt. A lot. Eventually, I stewed in my negative feelings for long enough to talk to him about it, and although he was resistant at first, he's bad with opening up. He reassured me over and over it had nothing to do with me and that he was just stressed. I should mention he changed jobs when we moved in, to a much higher pressure position. He's doing wonderfully, but doesn't believe he is. I told him it wasn't necessarily sex that I missed, although it would be nice, but more that I was missing the intimacy sex provides. He didn't like my suggestions for alternative ways to provide that, masturbating beside each other, making out, etc., but agreed to try if I scheduled sex a few days ahead. Of course, this made me think he might be depressed. I've been there before and I know lower libido is a symptom. The first time I scheduled sex, and I hate that, really, I mean. I took some for the team in the past but he can't now, it worked. However, it's now been 1 month since we last were intimate, despite my attempts to schedule multiple times. We had another discussion about a week ago, which quickly derailed away from sex when I gently asked if he might be depressed. He agreed, so I no longer feel a personal rejection whenever we don't have sex. I understand this has nothing to do with me, so I'm really not sure what to do at this point. I understand he is experiencing difficulty at the moment, and I told him he should go talk to someone, but he isn't the only person in this relationship. Am I entitled to him throwing me a bone every now and then? It's my sex life too, and he isn't very open to talking about it. I generally have to pull teeth to get him to productively discuss it, rather than just I don't want to talk about this or I'm just stressed with the new job. So how can I get him to talk about this? What can I say to help him? This morning before he left for work, I told him on either Monday, Tuesday or Thursday could we have sex, and he was irritated by the question. It's been over a month and I'm trying to be understanding, but come on. In response he said I just wish this was over, and to be honest I'm not sure if he meant his own lack of sex drive or me badgering him about it. I use that term very lightly, we've only talked about it twice in the 2.5 months it's been happening. I should mention that the rest of our relationship is fine. He is very loving and affectionate. If it weren't for this one thing, I would have no worries. Update. Although my original post didn't get much attention, it's been about 1.5 years and I thought I'd give an update. We broke up. In my original, I stated that our relationship was otherwise fine, but I see now that I had been deluding myself. My boyfriend never treated me right, and used me more like a mother, did all cleaning, cooking and organizing. Yes, I made his doctor's appointments. One of the few times he could bring himself to have sex with me, my period started unexpectedly, really unexpectedly, as my implant meant I hadn't bled in 2 years, and he continued to bring up how disgusted by me he was for months afterwards and used it as a reason that he couldn't have sex with me. So what was the real reason for the abstinence? He was cheating, of course. Found that out after he got stupid drunk at my mother's house, puked everywhere. I cleaned it up, and I tucked him in bed and put his phone on charge, which made the screen light up, and there was a text from her. I got the hell out of Dodge and moved in with one of my best friends and his girlfriend. Now, I'm happy to report that after some dark months of dealing with my first real, painful breakup, my life has been moving in an upward trajectory. I found a much better job, my social life isn't confined to the friends of my partner who hate me, and I have a boyfriend of 9 months who never lets me doubt that he loves me. Guys, he can cook and clean and I don't have to call his doctor or mobile provider. I am so happy. Please, if you feel like you aren't being loved and respected in your relationship, get out of there. I guarantee someone out there will treat you like a human being. Thank you to the few who commented, it made me feel better about a shitty situation at the time. Oh, and my current squeeze never lets me go more than a few days without some lovin', so that got better too, winky face. I, 38F, think my marriage to my husband, 42M, is over. I need help. This got really long, I'm sorry. If you make it to the end, bless you. My husband and I have been together for 16 years. We have 2 kids. It's mostly been a good relationship, with normal ebbs and flows. The past year has been pretty difficult on my end, and I think I've reached my breaking point. I just want to make it clear before I start that my husband is a good man, and I do love him. I've been a stay-at-home mom for most of our marriage. It was out of necessity rather than desire on my part. My husband was working at building his business, and we needed the flexibility of me being home. I had a job I loved, but I didn't make much, and it just made sense at the time. I also homeschool our children because it works well for us. I did all the normal stay-at-home mom stuff: dinner, cleaning, laundry, bills, etc. He did help when needed and was never resentful of it. He worked very long hours and lots of weekends, but I supported him because owning his own business was his dream. About 3 years ago, I started to feel some fatigue from being the primary caregiver of our children. I wanted more and our business was pretty stable, so we agreed that I'd go back to school. Our children are old enough now that schooling them is less hands-on, so again it made sense. I graduated with my 2-year degree last year and started nursing school shortly thereafter. This is when things started to get rough. Nursing school is a total time suck. It requires so much time and so much energy. We discussed the shifting of responsibility and how difficult this was going to be on all of us, and he said he was supportive. He started making snide comments about things he was doing at home, things I had always taken care of, things that I guess he just didn't realize I did. I tried to communicate with him, see what could be done to make things easier on him for this transition. He is not a good communicator though, so I didn't push, a mistake on my part. The comments started getting more frequent and meaner. We've never been mean to each other. It's just not how we fight. Or rather, hasn't been how we fight. He started getting resentful of the time I was up at school, or volunteering. I do volunteer quite a bit. Summer came and I thought things would get better. I got a job where I work a few days a week from 7 to 7. I love my job so much, and it's really nice to finally be able to contribute to our income. It's really empowering. Over the past few months, I've become a lot more independent. Historically, I've needed my husband a lot. I had some really serious depression after our kids, and I couldn't do much without him, like go to the doctor or grocery shop or whatever. Over the past 5 years, I've gotten that under control. Through nursing school, I've made a lot new friends that I like to spend time with. We grab quick dinners and sometimes head to the movies. This apparently bothers my husband, though he's never actually verbalized it. I started to come home from an activity, volunteering or a night out with friends, to rage on his part. He would yell at me, call me names, and say horribly hurtful things. He went through and read my text messages, trying to find something I'm doing wrong. My friend group is mixed female and male, and most are younger than I am. When I come home, I never know how he'll react. Last night was pretty bad. He stopped replying to my random I love you texts, and this morning didn't bother to say it back. He's hanging up on me, he's ignoring me, he's treating me really badly. He twists my words and ascribes them emotions that I'm just not feeling. I feel like I'm dying inside. Any self-esteem I've gained from following my dreams, he's crushing. While I don't think he's abusive, I feel a lot like I did when I was in an abusive relationship. Walking on eggshells, trying to test the room when I walk in. Afraid to do anything that might upset him being overly nice so that he'll be nice back. To be clear, I'm home most nights. I might go out with friends once a week or twice, but once is during the day. Like this week, Sunday I went to dinner with a friend that was leaving for New York the next day. I was gone 2 hours. Monday I was home. Tuesday I was working all day, then went up to the school for midnight registration. Wednesday is my weekly volunteer day and whoever is volunteering goes out for food after for about an hour. Today I'm working a short shift. Tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday I'm home. I'm just done. I'm so tired of feeling badly about myself. Like I'm doing something wrong. I've tried to talk about all of this 1,000 times. I never fight back when he's yelling at me or calling me names. I've suggested counseling, I'm going to therapy myself, but he's not interested. The problem is, I don't want my marriage to be over. I love him and I promised him forever. I don't break my promises. I just want things to go back to where they were a year ago. I need help. Thanks in advance. TLDR, my husband is resentful of positive changes that I've made in my life over the past year, which has led to him treating me terribly. I don't think I can do it anymore, but I don't want my marriage to be over. I don't know what to do. Update. While my original post didn't get a ton of feedback, I thought I'd update. About a month after I posted, I asked him for a separation. He agreed. I moved out and I've got my own place now. I thought maybe moving out would be the wake-up call that was needed to save the marriage, but it wasn't. However, it turned out to be the best thing for all of us. We share custody of our children, and they transitioned to public school and are doing very, very well. I'm doing pretty well, too. It's been hard and there have been a lot of ups and downs, but it's been worth it. We're all so much happier now, and my ex and I are working really well together to co-parent our kids and we're even friends. We'll always be there for each other, but we're better off apart. Not the happy ending that I was hoping for, but a happy ending nonetheless.